Everybody, this is John. This is week 12 of Pokemon videos. This is going to be me versus Jacob. This is the final battle of the week. Of course, you might not have watched them in order, so I won't get into what happened in those ones too much. Obviously, there are parallel situations. So I'm going to lead again with my Ferrothorn. This is going to be from Jacob's point of view, so I think this will be actually the first week that all three battles had none that were from my point of view. So we'll see everybody else's health here for once. So I'm going to pull back the Ferrothorn right away. Jacob correctly predicts my lead and sends in Chandelure. Obviously, I'm not going to stay in there. Take a Flamethrower, which is what he's going to use here. Gyarados easily takes this. We'll see just how much damage it does. See, it did about a quarter of my health, which is surprising, actually, more than I would have expected. Just shows Chandelure's massive special attack. Really at work there. If he had used Energy Ball there, I mean, I imagine that would have done half my health. But obviously, he's not going to use Energy Ball. Take the risk on the Ferrothorn being able to stay in, set up a Stealth Rock, do whatever else he wants. So he does use Flamethrower just to be safe. I do use Dragon Dance on the switch. I expect him to switch. Obviously, he's not going to lose a Chandelure in on a Gyarados. Maybe. I mean, I guess you never know. He might have used Energy Ball, and then I might have been in trouble, actually. But obviously, I'd be faster after one Dragon Dance. Probably faster before the Dragon Dance, so I could have just used Waterfall and killed him off anyway, so it wouldn't have mattered. I am going to taunt here. He does use Ice Beam. I thought he was going to Stealth Rock. It would have been obviously an ideal time. I do taunt, forces him. He gets the Stealth Rock. I mean, Ice Beam. Ice Beam doesn't do any damage to me, really. Far less than a Flamethrower did. I'm going to use Dragon Dance again, because I know if he's going to stay in, he's going to be using another Ice Beam again. Obviously, I don't mind taking these Ice Beams. They're not doing any damage. And now this Gyarados is in a position where he's going to do a ton of damage if he gets rolling here. He does use Ice Beam again. You see it does very little damage. Leftovers almost recovers that off. 2 leftovers alone is enough to recover off one of those Ice Beams. So the second time, I'm just going to go ahead and go with the Waterfall here. No point in getting a third Dragon Dance because at this point he's already strong enough that the only thing that's going to take him out now is either a heavy stall against him. Really, Ferrothorn's the only one who can probably do that at this point. Or obviously a priority move. Gyarados doesn't mind going against priority. Most priority moves. I would say the only one he has trouble with is probably. Well, actually, he's pretty good against all priority moves. Now that I think about it, he does switch into Terrakion here. Not a good move. Obviously, he's hoping, I guess, that he's faster. Terrakion's fast, not that fast though. Even on this bulky Gyarados, after 2 Dragon Dances, I don't think there's hardly anything that's gonna be faster than maybe actually Garchomp might be, but that's obviously choice Scarf variant. He is going to move into Terrakion. Terrakion's going to get Waterfall, dies. Does send a Volcarona next. This is also going to die. You can see my leftovers has recovered almost all the health that he's taken away with the Ice Beams. Probably, it's moving into the territory that the initial Flamethrower did. So he sends a Volcarona here, another Sacrificial Lamb. To be honest, I don't know why he sent him in there. He does get the Flame Body off, though. So there you go. That must, I mean, you can't assume that's going to happen. But maybe that's why he sent him in there on the assumption that definitely the game owes me one for letting this happen, and it's going to burn me. So obviously now my Dragon Dance boosts, they're good for speed now. They're no good for the attack anymore. But so unfortunately that means this Gyarados is pretty useless in attacking. His speed's going to be just fine. He can take hits. He's not going to take hits from Electivire. That's obviously, I would have been faster than Electivire. I don't know if I would have killed him in one shot. I could have stayed out and tried it, but I didn't. Obviously, I don't have Earthquake, or else I would have stayed in. Maybe Earthquake, even on a regular attack, does kill off Electivire. So I do pull out into Ferrothorn. He uses Thunder Punch. It doesn't do any damage to Ferrothorn. I do switch out Ferrothorn right away, because obviously I don't want to take a Flamethrower or a Cross Punch. Whatever he's running on the Electivire, I don't want to take it. So Ferrothorn gets in there, takes the Electric attack. That's pretty clear that that's coming. I do switch in Dusclops. Dusclops takes the Flamethrower gladly. He's going to switch here out. Excuse me. Obviously, his Electivire can't really take on a Dusclops. He doesn't really have anything to deal with that. I do use Will-O-Wisp on the switch. Will-O-Wisp at this point is probably good against anything he has left on his team. It does pretty much ruin the Scizor. He's going to use U-Turn. This is going to do barely any damage. Yeah, so you see after the burn, even without the burn, it wouldn't have done any damage. With the burn, it does even less. It's pretty much makes that. That's the thing about Choice Band users, is it's so easily beat by just the burn. That's all it takes, really. So he's going to send in Chandelure. I use Confuser on the switch. Chandelure is going to be lost. Obviously, he's not going to be can't be Will-O-Wisp, so I would expect that I'm going to switch here. So there you go. So you see, I do switch. Chandelure was a good switch there. Obviously, forces Dusclops out. Dusclops really can't do anything to him. You can Nightshade him once, take away 100 health. Obviously, you can see he only has 259 health, so it only takes 3 Nightshades to kill him off. I do switch back in Gyarados. On the Confusion, he hits himself. That's good. Obviously, Chandelure has meager attack, to say the least. He doesn't do any damage to himself by hitting himself, so the confusion's just there to annoy. Obviously doesn't get off his move. He does snap out of confusion the second time, so it was a quick confusion. He uses Energy Ball on Gyarados. At this point, Gyarados is pretty useless to me. You're going to see he's burned, so this is... I don't even know if this is going to kill this thing off. Obviously, Chandeler's pretty fragile, so yeah, you see with the burn, not enough to kill him. Obviously, without the burn, it would have more than killed him. Energy Ball, you see, did decent damage, as I said earlier. Burn's going to slowly whittle me away here. I'm kind of stuck at this point. Chandeler's even faster than me. He uses Shadow Ball here. So there you see, takes him out with Shadow Ball. Energy Ball would have killed him as well. He obviously chooses to use the stab. Nothing wrong with that. Gets him probably did more damage than Energy Ball would have. So I do switch in Espeon finally. Espeon was my new Pokemon this week. You didn't really have too much of a place against this team since nobody said Stealth Rock against me. Nobody said Rocks. Nobody did spreading Will-O-Wisp around. Obviously Espeon all good at taking all of those things. I do use Shadow Ball on the switch. Obviously it would have killed Chandelure. It does decent damage to whatever it's going to hit anyways, unless he moves in a normal type. Which he doesn't have. He used the Psychic on the second time. You see, Shadow Ball wouldn't have killed him in 2 shots. Psychic obviously would, thanks to the stab. So I did use that. I chose to use that. I think I shot Shock on him as well. Though that set might be changing. I'm not sure yet. So I do switch out. Starsky comes in. The Caesar, I don't want to take whatever he's going to use. U-turn. Espeon's pretty fragile, especially defensively, so don't want to stay in there on that. I do switch into Dusclops. U-turn. You can see I'm in full control of this match. It's really not too much doubt about who's going to win this one at this point. Pretty much, I would say, even from the point that the Gyarados gets 2 Dragon Dances off, there's some serious trouble. Volcarona really stays the match for him from being pretty much a 6-0 sweep. We're going to see, I'm going to switch out here. He uses Shadow Ball Cloyster. Cloyster is a good Pokemon, obviously. I like him quite a bit. I think everyone's heard my ravings about him. not good on the defensive side. I thought he was going to use Flamethrower or Energy Ball. Either of those he would have lived on. Not Shadow Ball. Really, anything that's neutral on the special side is probably going to kill Cloyster off. In general, that's just how what I would bet. So I do send back in Espeon. He uses Psychic. Caesar obviously doesn't mind taking a Psychic. It's going to do decent damage. Not very effective though. Burn's really what's is killing this Caesar. Obviously, I do have Empoleon. If you saw the teams in the beginning, so is Gyarados dead? Gyarados dead. Empoleon he can take anything except for superpower off of Caesar. So if he uses superpower there, I'm in trouble. If he has it on him, he might not have it on him. So either way, it does use U-turn, doesn't do any damage. Chandelure's the only thing left here. You see Chandelure and Caesar kind of giving me troubles here, actually, finishing off these 2 partners in crime. Obviously Chandelure covers a lot of the weaknesses of Caesar pretty well. Caesar covers Chandelure pretty well. He does use Flamethrower. I use Scald. Flamethrower, it does neutral. It does pretty good damage. He does have decent special defense, though. My Empoleon does. Empoleons in general have decent special defense. So I do live the Flamethrower. I hit with a Scald. Scald would have killed him anyways. I got a critical hit on top of everything else. And I do believe he died. No. Empoleon does live through the Life Orb damage, so at this point the battle's over, because he's going to be faster. Bullet Punch. Kaboom. I don't know how much that's going to do, like 1 damage, 2 damage to Empoleon. It's enough to kill him, so he had no health, so. At this point, it doesn't really matter. I still have Ferrothorn, and I believe, I don't know what else, Dusclops. Dusclops is more than happy to fight this thing. Obviously, it's less than 100 health, you can see there, so 1 Nightshade is going to kill it. Bullet Punch, not going to do any damage here. I expect it to do very little, yeah. And that's really his signature move, so just judging by that, nothing's going to happen here. Nightshade's going to kill him off. I believe that's the end of his team. So, as you can see, the mistakes there were pretty simple. Basically, it's Gyarados. He didn't really have a good solid Gyarados counter. I mean, what does counter Gyarados after 2 Dragon Dances? Not very much. But Electivire has to switch in right away and Thunder Punch, and really threaten the Thunder Punch right away. That's the only way you can beat it. And obviously, if Gyarados is running Earthquake, then you're fucked. So, you have to be able to see what set your opponent's running, and that's obviously extremely difficult without knowing anything. Just seeing the Pokemon switch in, you don't really know what set it's running until you can hit it and see how much damage it takes. Maybe see its first move, that sort of thing. Maybe he's better off taking advantage of Chandelure's already in there. Obviously, doesn't want to take a Waterfall, but if I'm going to Dragon Dance on the switch, he can use Energy Ball and do some decent damage. Shadow Ball as well. Shadow Ball probably would have done more. Would have put me in trouble anyhow. So, And even flamethrower, you don't want to take those because that can burn you. Flamethrower can burn you. So, but that's that battle. I did win all my battles this week, which were two battles I won. So, and that's all for this week. I do have some more videos coming, I think. So, thanks for watching. Bye.